गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिनां मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. Welcome you all with my love and respect. Actually, today we are entering into the real Gita. Only today Bhagavan starts speaking. Yesterday, only Krishna was speaking. Only today, Bhagavan starts speaking. Again, one more thing we need to understand. Only a man who has got enough intelligence will allow the other person to speak. Please be very clear. Continuously we are all speaking. But never conversation happens. Conversation is different, speaking is different. If you see your life, continuously you are speaking, the other person is speaking, but never conversation happens. When other person speaks, you just prepare what you are supposed to give as a reply. You never listen. We never listen when the other person speaks. We just prepare our lecture. You hear so that he will hear you, that's all. You are little polite so that he will listen to what you speak. Never conversation happens. You need intelligence to allow other person to speak. Please be very clear. You don't need intelligence to speak. You need intelligence only to listen. For listening you need intelligence. I was just making a small comment yesterday. Because Bhagavan is a male, he allowed Arjuna to speak. It is very difficult allowing the other person to speak. Small story. One guy was telling, for last 1 week I have not spoken to my wife. The friend is asking, why? Are you mad with her? Or did you have a fight? He said, no, I am afraid of interrupting her. I can't interrupt her. She is continuously speaking. In your life, if you see the same thing happening, we never listen. Always you speak through words. If you are not uttering words, you are preparing your speech, that's all. Either you speak verbally or mentally, but continuously you are speaking. You never listen. We never listen what is told. We never hear. Why do you think people go and pay so much of money to these psychiatric doctors? The whole profession, psychiatrists and psychoanalysts, is nothing but just listening. Especially in the modern day, in this society, nobody is ready to listen. There is nobody who is ready to listen to what you speak. You go there, pay money just to speak. Psychiatrist is a person who asks expensive questions and just listens. Nothing else. There is nobody to listen. Continuously you speak, speak, speak. Even when you keep quiet, you are not listening. Here, Bhagavan completely allows Krishna to speak. Full one chapter. He is not opening the mouth. He is not telling anything. He is maintaining his patience and he is really seeing the depth of confusion, the depth of depression. He is consciously analyzing from where his thoughts are coming, from which base Arjuna is moving. Actually, if you can just study this first chapter of the Gita, you can become a very big businessman. You can shine in your profession. Your profession, you can reach the peak in your profession. All you need in your life is just learning the art of listening. That is enough. Once you listen clearly, once you are able to listen, automatically you will be able to answer. You will be able to reply. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, so many times I have heard your discourse. Continuously you are answering questions. Of course, question and answer should be always spontaneous. How you are able to answer so many questions? I told him the only one secret is I know how to listen to the question. That's all. If you listen, if you just know the technique of listening, immediately the reply will be ready in your being. First thing, we don't trust that we will be able to respond without preparing mentally. We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our intelligence. That is why, before listening to the question, we start preparing the reply. We don't have that much of patience to listen to the problem. Before the problem is expressed, you start giving solution. Continuously, you are interested only expressing what you know. You are not interested in real problem. Here, Krishna is interested in real problem. He is not interested in expressing what he knows. He is interested only in solving the problem. He wants Arjuna to have the clarity. He doesn't want to show. He doesn't want to express what he knows. If we are in the place of Krishna, what we would have done? Before the Arjuna starts the trouble itself, whatever we know, we would have started repeating. But first thing Krishna does is, he allows the Arjuna to speak so that he can go to the root of the problem. He can straight away address the issue. You need intelligence. I can say you need enlightenment to listen. Only an enlightened master like Krishna can listen. In the 18 chapters, full one chapter, he just listens. He is not opening his mouth. Even in the second chapter, there are so many slokas. He allows Arjuna to speak. Not only he allows Arjuna to speak, he knows once he expresses the problem, automatically he himself will find the solution. Many people come to me and they tell me, Swamiji, you know my problem, please give the answer. I tell them, please open your mouth and tell clearly, only then I will know. They know, no, you are enlightened, you will know all our problem, please give me an answer. Tell them, yes, I know your problem, but I know your problem even if you don't speak. You will not know your problem if you don't speak. Please understand, I may know your problem, you without speaking, but you yourself will not know what is your problem unless you speak. Only when you verbalize, you yourself will be clear exactly what is your problem. When we don't verbalize, when we don't express, we ourselves don't know exactly what is our problem. We ourselves don't know exactly what is our problem. Only when we verbalize, we ourselves will know what is our problem. Here, Krishna is allowing Arjuna to verbalize, so that first Arjuna will understand what is the problem. First, Arjuna will have the clarity where he is stuck. Then, next, he can address the issue straight away. Here, Krishna is first opening his mouth. I can say he is opening his being. He is straight away addressing the problem. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kudastvakasmalamitam Vishame Samupastitam Anaryachishtamasvargyam Akirtigaram Arjuna. Lord Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. These two slokas, this sloka and the next sloka, they are connected. Klaibyam mam smagama partha naitat tvayubhavatyate Shutram hridayadaur palyam Yakko uttishta parantapa. O son of Partha, O son of Pritha, Partha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of enemy. I think this is the gist of the whole Gita. Krishna is really a real Zen master. He is not beating around the bush. Straight away he is addressing the issue. He is not beating around the bush. He is not a philosopher. First thing which we need to understand, Krishna is not a philosopher. He is straight away addressing the issue. He is straight away addressing the problem. He says straight away, oh my dear Arjuna, how these impurities came to you? They are not for a man like you who know the value of life. They will not lead you to higher planets. They will only defame you. The next sloka he says, give up this petty weakness. Arise, O chastiser of the enemy. It's a straight Zen answer. A seeker goes to a Zen master, an enlightened master. He asks, Master, what is Buddha? How can I become Buddha? Please teach me. Master just gives me a good slap. Just gives me a good slap. The fellow is shocked. He came to the master expecting some meditation technique, expecting some blessing, some guidance. Just imagine, you go to a Swami and ask how to achieve God, how to realize altmann. He just gives you a blow. What will you do? Same thing. He goes to Zen master and he gives him a blow. This guy is shocked. But the disciple is a matured guy. He did not go out and start speaking ill of that master. He said, Master, I know whatever you do has got some meaning behind it. Please explain. I am not able to understand. That is different. But I can't say what you are doing is wrong. Please explain. The master says, Fool, you are Buddha. Why are you trying to become? You are Buddha. You are God. You are divine. Why are you trying to become something which you are already? If a horse comes to me and asks, how can I become a horse? Please teach me. How can I become a horse? What else can I do? You are already that. There is nothing else needs to be added to you. Straight away, in one slap, he gives the reply. Same way, here Krishna is giving, in one shot, he is giving the gist of the whole Gita. He knows the problem of Arjuna. Arjuna is not having depression because of spiritual seeking. Please be very clear. Arjuna doesn't want solution. Now he wants only support. We need to understand. Asking for support is different. Asking for solution is different. Now all Arjuna needs is only support. He doesn't need solution. That is why Krishna never speaks anything about spirituality in these two sloka. These two sloka does not speak anything about spirituality. The problem of Arjuna is from fear and worry. His Manipura chakra and Swadhisthana chakra is in trouble. He has got a tremendous deep fear and worry because of fear. Straight away, Krishna is addressing the problem. He is not speaking any philosophy. He is not beating around the bush. He straight away instructs Arjuna, this is not the right thing for you. Get up and fight. Give up all this foolish weakness. If Arjuna is in stotra mood, surrender mood, to which he comes later on, later stage. If he is in the stotra mood, this two sloka would have been a sutra. It would have been a technique. Arjuna would have become enlightened, or Arjuna would have achieved the ultimate just with these two sutra, with these two sloka. That's enough. If Arjuna was in the mood of the stotra, means surrender, devotion, No more Gita is necessary. This 2 sloka is enough. In these 2, whole Gita would have ended. Neither you need to come here for 18 days, nor I need to come here. Gita is over. Gita will be over with these 2 sloka. If Arjuna was in the stotra mood, because he was not in the stotra mood, now Krishna has to create the Shastra to bring him to the stotra mood. If Arjuna was in the stotra mood, just these 2 sloka would have become sutra, technology to transform the life of Arjuna. Straight away he is addressing the problem. The whole problem is just worry, fear. That's all. Worry because of fear. Depression because of fear. All our depression is rooted in anxiety, rooted in fear. A small story. One presidential candidate is addressing press conference. He says, I am very optimistic about my future. Journalist asks, then why do you look so worried? The candidate says, my optimism is not warranted. I am just worried. My optimism is not warranted. You are continuously expecting your optimism to be warranted. When you don't get the warranty for your optimism, you start worrying. All your depression, all your worry, all your anxiety is nothing but deep fear about life. Fear of life, fear of losing something. There are many levels of fear. Fear of losing the wealth, fear of losing some parts of your body, fear of losing the near and dear ones, fear of unknown means death. Here Arjuna is facing all the 4 fears. All the 4 fears Arjuna is facing. You can classify all your fears just in this 4 category. Fear of losing your wealth, fear of losing some parts of your body in accident or some other way, fear of losing your near and dear ones, or fear of the unknown, fear of death. Here Arjuna is facing all the 4 fears. He has got the fear. He may lose whatever he has. Next, he has got the fear. He may lose some part of his body in war. Third, main fear. He may lose his near and dear ones. Fourth, he may lose his very life. There is a possibility of death. He is facing all the 4 fears. Because of these fears, the worry has started. Here, Krishna is straight away addressing the worry and fear. If Arjuna is in the stotra mood means completely with his whole being, if he has understood Krishna is nothing but God, Purnavatara, this 2 sloka is enough. He doesn't need any more instruction. He doesn't need any other words. He would have just simply followed. But unfortunately, I can say in a way fortunately, otherwise we wouldn't have had Gita. Fortunately or unfortunately, Arjuna was not in the mood of stotra. So these 2 words have become Shastra. Now the Shastra starts. If he was in the mood which he gets after the Vishwarupa Darshana, 11th chapter, he comes to the mood of surrender and he says, Krishna, now I understand you are not a normal human being. Krishna, I am not surprised why all the devatas are worshipping you. You are beyond everything. You are beyond my imagination. He surrenders. I surrender myself unto you. Then again, Krishna says the same word. Same word. Immediately Arjuna starts the war. Gita ends. The same word, when it is repeated, when Arjuna is having the when Arjuna is in the stotra mood, it has become sutra, technique for Arjuna. Now because he is not in the stotra mood, it has just become plain shastra. Plain shastra. Just an advice. Now he starts the shastra. Krishna is not a philosopher. And I tell you, all philosophy is just trying to convince the other person to do what the philosopher wants to do. It is nothing but convincing. Maybe slowly. Maybe slowly. But all philosophy is nothing but trying to convince the other person what the philosopher wants to do. There's a beautiful saying from Adolf Hitler. In his autobiography he says, if you repeat a lie 100 times, it will become truth. Even if it is a lie, continuously if you repeat 100 times, it will become truth. And even if it is a truth, when you express it first time, people will think it is a lie. Lie told 100 times will become truth. Truth expressed for the first time will be considered as a lie. Whether it is lie or truth does not depend on the fact. It depends on how many times you repeat it. That's all. All philosophy, what the philosopher wants to do, including the philosophies like communism, whatever philosophy you say, not only the philosophies related to religion, the philosophies related to politics also is same. They invent logical reasons why you should follow their words. That's all. Why you should follow their words. That's all. But here, Krishna is not a philosopher. He never creates any philosophy. First of all, he doesn't want to create philosophy. He straight away tries to give the conclusion to the Arjuna. Because Arjuna is not in the mood of receiving it. Because Arjuna is not matured enough to digest it. He has to give the experience to Arjuna. There is a beautiful story in Upanishad. A disciple goes to a master and asks, Master, teach me the Atmajnana. Master says, that art thou, Tattvamasi, you are God. But the disciple is not able to believe. He is not able to believe. He is not able to understand. How can I become God? How can I be God? Still I am afraid of my wife. How can I be God? I have all the problems. How can I be God? He has got 1,000 questions. Then Master proves his divinity. He proves he is God. When Master proves he is God, the disciple is able to trust the Master's words. Then Master says, now do you trust? You are God. Look into yourself. Masters have to prove that they are God to make you understand you are God. Here Krishna is proving his greatness. Again and again he is telling, I am this, I am this. He says, among the rishis, I am the Narada. Among the month, I am Margasirsha. He explains all his glory. And he says, all the devatas are just at my feet. All the Vedas are at my feet. The whole world is in me. He says all these big statements. A normal person, if he listens to all these things, he will think Krishna is egoistic. God save. That time there was no psychiatric doctors. Otherwise they would have admitted Krishna in hospital. They would have taken him for some treatment. You don't know what is happening. Krishna again and again says, I am divine. He has to say, he has to prove he is God so that you will realize you are God. When Krishna says, I am God, he means you are God. He makes the statement, I am God, just to make you realize you are God. You don't believe ordinary person's words. You want the proof or the authority, what right you have to utter that word. Here Krishna is telling the same word which he is going to say in the end of the Gita. But now Arjuna is not ready to believe. Arjuna is not ready to follow. Once Krishna shows his divinity, once Krishna expresses his God consciousness, once he proves that he is God, then Arjuna is ready to believe Krishna's words and execute it. Same way, when masters prove their divinity, when they do some divine miracles, don't think they are doing this for their ego satisfaction. No. First they have to prove they are God so that you will trust their words and experience you are God. That is the reason again and again masters prove their divinity or their energy, what they are. He is not going around. He is not creating a big philosophy. Straight away he is answering. One more thing. There is a beautiful small note which you need to know. A great author, he wrote a book, just 40-page book. 40-page book giving the gist of his philosophy. Somebody asked him, what is this? You wrote just 40 page. Your whole philosophy is just 40 page. He says, no, I did not have time. If I had time, I would have written only 20 page. He says, I did not have time. That is why I wrote 40 page. If I had enough time, I would have written only 20 page. To give it in a simple form, you need more intelligence. To put the whole thing in a nutshell form, you need more intelligence. To go on and on and on, you don't need intelligence. Any fool can do. Any fool can write big volume. I think only fools write big volumes. Intelligent people express it in few words. He says beautifully, I did not have time. If I had enough time, I would have written only 20 pages. Because I don't have enough time, I am not able to reduce that. I am not able to put it in nutshell form. Here the whole Gita, whole 700 sloka is reduced to these 2 slokas. Straight away Krishna is attending the problem. Straight away is answering. Where Arjuna is stuck, he is just clearing it. He is stuck in fear. He has to work means there is only one possibility, name and fame, rajas. Because he is centered on rajas. Man who is centered on sattva will work out of compassion. Man who is centered on rajas will work only for name and fame. The man who is centered on tamas will work only for sense pleasures. Yesterday I was telling you, Duryodhana is in tamas. He will work only for his sense pleasures. Cruel way. Very crass. Dharmaraja is in sattva. He will work only out of compassion. Here Arjuna is centered on rajas. He will work only for name and fame. So here, that is why Bhagavan says, this will bring you bad name. Please don't lose your name. Come out and do. He's straight away addressing the weak point. Actually, he's straight away putting his hand on the tumor. But fortunately, Arjuna is not so intelligent, or he acts, he is not so intelligent to understand the trouble. Somehow I am not able to believe Arjuna is so dumb, because he lived with Krishna more than 30 years. Maybe he is putting all these questions for our sake, for the future generation. Arjuna must have been intelligent. He is putting all these questions for our sake. Klaivyamma smagamapartha naitat tvayubhavatyade shutram hridayadaurbalyam tyakpo uttishta parantapa. Again he is emphasizing, O Arjuna, yield not to this debasing impotence. Don't behave like this. Come out. He is straight away addressing the issue. He is not creating philosophy. He is not beating around the bush. Let me tell you a small story. In Newsweek, I read this story in the Newsweek magazine. There was a guy who had a compulsive obsessive problem, some psychiatric problem. The problem is he will be continuously tearing all the papers. Whatever paper falls in his eyes, he will start tearing them into bits and pieces and spread all over the room. Some habit. Whatever papers, whether it is some important document or dollar bill, whatever comes in front of his eyes, he will start tearing it and he will spread all over the room. His family is worried. They took him to Jungians, Freudians, and whatnot, whatever possible treatment. Spending so much of money. They tried all possible treatment, but nothing worked. Nothing worked. Suddenly one day they saw an advertisement in the newspaper. Young but very innovative psychotherapist. They saw the advertisement. They thought, why not try? Let us try. They took him to the doctor. He was a young guy. He said, I just wanted to spend a few minutes with the patient. All of them left. He and the patient, both of them started walking up and down. And just 3-4 minutes, he came back and said, he is all right, please take him back. They were surprised. They took him back to the house and really became all right. More than 1 year over, is perfectly all right. Where the problem disappeared, nobody knows. With full of gratitude, the family people came to the doctor again. They expressed their gratitude and they said, "What have you done? Please tell me. Please tell us what you really did. How did you cure him?" No Freudian, no Jungian could do anything. They were all trying their best to throw some light on his unconsciousness. They are not able to do anything. What have you done? He says, "Just I told him, don't tear papers. If you tear once more, they will bring you here for next session. I'll just push you out of window." Don't tear papers. If you do it again, anyhow they will bring you here for next session. And I don't bother about all these things. And I don't believe in all this psychotherapy, psychiatric and all these things. I'll just push you out of window. Throw you out of window. Simply became all right. Very simple solution. Straight solution. Simply became all right. Many times our problems are very simple. We complicate the problem by analyzing it. When you verbalize, label the problem and start analyzing, you complicate them. You give power to them. Your problems are not as big as you think. Your problems are not as big as you think. But when you verbalize, when you start creating, when you start categorizing, when you start rubber stamping, when you start dowholing, when you start analyzing, you have created 100 more new problems which never existed in your being. By naming it, by verbalizing it, by analyzing it, you have created more problems. Why do you think the psychiatric doctors, they go on inventing new diseases? The more you analyze, you will invent more problems, more difficulties. The more you analyze, the more you will be in difficulty. Straight, simple solution, over. No more big stories. No analysis. No question of lying down in the couch. Just one word. If you do this once more, you will be brought to me again. Naturally, your family will bring you here only. Next time you come here, you will be simply thrown out of the window. Over. The whole problem is solved. Because we don't know how to solve the problems, we create more and more problems. You have only one mind. Either you can use that mind to solve your problems, or naturally you will be using that same mind to create more problems. Please be very clear. If you are not solving your existing problems, you will be creating more problems. Either you will be climbing or falling. No question of standing in between. In mind level, no question of standing. No question of status quo. Either you climb or you fall. You have only one mind. Either you use the mind to solve the problems, otherwise automatically by its own nature you will be using it to create problems. Here, Krishna is straight away addressing the Arjuna, is straight away addressing the problem. He is not creating any big story. One more small story. One guy walks into a bar with his pet pig. The bartender notices the pig with one wooden leg was surprised. First of all, he is surprised somebody bringing pig with them. And that pig having wooden leg. He asked the customer, why your pig is having wooden leg? This guy said, if you give me one drink free, I will tell the whole story. He wants to encash the curiosity. Bartender thought, all right, after all, one drink. He said, all right, have it. You don't know how special this pig is. After having first drink, this guy starts the story. You don't know how special this pig is. When there was a big fire in my house, this pig broke my house and helped me to come out and helped my wife to come out of the house. It saved my whole family. Bartender listened the whole story. Then he says, I understand, but why it is having one wooden leg? The guy said, wait. If you give one more drink, I can continue the story. This guy has now created too much of curiosity. He says, all right, have one more. Then he says, oh, you don't know how special this pig is. The other day when I fell in the lake, it just jumped inside the lake and somehow struggled and brought me out. Went and called my wife. She came and saved my life. Again this pig saved my life. Now it is too much. This guy said, I understand this pig is special. Bartender says, I understand this pig is special. But tell me why it has got one wooden leg. He says, if you can give one more drink. Now it is too much. But the bartender decides, all right, this is the last, have one more. After having the third drink, he starts. No, last time when there was a tornado, it helped me to enter into the shelter house and it saved my life once more. Now it is too much. Bartender simply caught the shirt of this customer and said, tell me now immediately why it is having one wooden leg. Now it is too much. This fellow says, all right, I'll tell you. Such a special pig, who will eat all at once? I am eating part by part. The whole story is only one line. You can answer this whole question in one line. I just do not want to eat this pig all at once, so I am eating part by part. To tell that one line, he has to create such a big story. He must have been a great philosopher. He must have been a great philosopher. Here, Krishna is not creating any philosophy. Straight away he is answering. He is not telling any big story. He is not bringing anything. But because Arjuna is not matured enough, he has to give the intellectual explanation. Please understand, all the Western philosophy starts with logical analysis and ends in the conclusion. All the Eastern darshanas gives the conclusion, then starts analyzing. Because the Eastern masters are compassionate. They do not want to torture you with all the logic. They are giving you the first chance. If you are intelligent enough, please catch the solution, come out. When you are not intelligent enough, then no other way. They have to start the process from 1, 2, 3. They expect just by the trust you will come up. When you are not qualified, then they start the usual regular process. Here, Krishna tried the first method of sudden enlightenment, the immediate liberation, the immediate enlightenment. But Arjuna is not mature to receive it, to get it. So now Krishna starts the process step by step. Next sloka. Arjuna uvacha karpanya dosho bhagadasvabhava praschamitvam dharma sammuda cheta yasreyasyanyastidam bruhidanme shishyasteham sadimam tvam prabannam. Arjuna says, now I am confused about my duty and I have lost all the composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Now I should tell you an important truth. Here Arjuna says, my soul is surrendered unto you. Pure lie. If his soul is really surrendered, simply he would have executed what Krishna says. He will not be waiting for intellectual explanation. He claims, I am your disciple, but pure lie. I have seen so many people who are in the same situation. Let me tell you one small story, not story, history. One night, around 12 o'clock, I got a call from one officer, government officer. He is our devotee. Swamiji, I have a serious problem. Please save me. Please do something and save me. Otherwise, I have to commit suicide. Tomorrow morning, I have to commit suicide if you don't save me. I told him, don't worry. Come tomorrow morning. Let us talk and do what has to be done. Don't worry. We will take care. No, Swamiji, please tell me now itself. Please save me now itself. Otherwise, by tomorrow evening you will see only my dead body. Please save me. Please tell me now itself. Please do something and save me now itself. So, Larry, what is the problem? Went on, conversation went on. Finally, I told him, all right, I'll take care. Don't worry, it will be solved. But please come tomorrow morning, at least let us analyze. We'll take care that once more the problem doesn't come. Tomorrow morning, come around 10 o'clock. Immediately he says, no, Swamiji, tomorrow I have to go to office. Tomorrow I have to go to office. When he was speaking about his problem, he says his whole life is at my feet. It is only my words or my power is going to save him. I am your disciple. I have surrendered completely. You have to save me. My whole life is at your feet. When he speaks all big words, but when I told him, come tomorrow morning, we'll see. He says, I have to go to office. And exactly Arjuna is in the position. He says, I am your disciple. My soul is surrendered. But when Krishna says, do what I say, he is not ready to do. He is totally confused. Surrender out of confusion is not surrender. You don't even know you are doing the right thing. Please be very clear. Surrender after the clarity of Shastras is the real surrender. Surrender out of intelligence is surrender, not surrender out of confusion. Here, he is surrendering just verbally. He himself says, now I am confused. Two things. Either you have to do what you think is right, or you have to do what master instructs. Here, he is trying to find some bridge, some gap. He wants, master should instruct what he wants to listen. He is not ready to listen what master says. He is only ready to listen what he wants to listen, but from master's mouth. He wants only Krishna's rubber stamp. He doesn't want the truth. Here, he says, I am surrendered, but he is not surrendered. But just because of compassion, just out of karuna, compassion, Krishna continues to teach. He continues to express the truth. Here starts the Shastra. These two slokas which Krishna spoke is Sutra. Because the Arjuna is not able to receive, here starts the Shastra. Sri Bhagavan Uvacham Asosyam Anavosastvam Prajnavadamscha Bhashase Kadasuna Kadasumscha Nanuso Sandhi Pandita. Bhagavan says, I don't want to use the word past tense, use the word said. Because Krishna or Gita can never be addressed in the past tense. Even though they were written here in the past tense, it has been translated in the past tense. I feel Krishna should be always addressed in the present tense. He is still relevant. We can't say Krishna was. No, Krishna is. Krishna is. So we can't say Krishna said, Krishna says. While speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Again Krishna straightaway addresses. Arjuna, you speak as if you are very intelligent, as if you are enlightened, but your emotion, your being shows you are not. A real person with enlightenment or wisdom will never worry neither for the living nor for the dead. If you are worrying about somebody who is living or somebody who is dead, you cannot be a man of intelligence. Please understand, what is after all death? There are thousands, or I can say millions who lived. Millions have gone. What is after all death? What is life? Somebody asked me, Swamiji, why these natural calamities are happening? Why so many millions of people are dying? The wars and natural calamities. Why God is doing all these things? I told him, to tell you honest answer, I don't know. But if you insist on the answer, I can tell one thing. Next time, if God calls for a conference, I'll ask him and give you the reply. Because these questions have no answer in existence. The question is asked from a very low level. but the divine or the God is beyond your logic. These questions are from your logic, but the divine is beyond your logic. You can never have an answer for these questions. For example, a small ant is seeing the elephant and he is asking, why are you so black? Why are you wearing the same color of me? I am also black and you are also black. Why? Why are you black? Why are you having the same color? Will that elephant be able to answer? Elephant will not even know small to understand the rules of existence, to understand the rules of divine. So only fools worry about the people who are living or people who are dead. A real intelligent man never bothers about death. The next sloka here starts the essence of the whole Gita. Natve vagam jatu nasam natvam neme janatipa nachaiva napavishyama sarve vayamada param. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. I think this is the gist of the whole Gita. If you can understand this one sloka, straight away you can become enlightened. You will be able to enter into that eternal bliss. Krishna says there was never a time when I, you and all of these things does not exist. If you think that our souls will also die along with our bodies, then you are wrong. We were before our birth on this earth and we will remain even after death. This is also not true that any of us will not be in the future. In Zen Buddhism, there is a beautiful meditation technique to achieve enlightenment. You are asked to meditate on the face which you had before your birth. You are asked to meditate on the face which you had before your birth. Then you will realize you exist in the past, present, and in the future. Your face may change, your body may change, but you continue to exist. Why? Then why we think we will die? Why the fear of death happens? Exactly what happens? If what Krishna says is truth, that we are never bothered by the time, we are there in the past, we are here, we will be there in the future. Why we are worried about our life? Why we are so much bothered about death? Let you first understand the concept of this time, past, present and future. Then you will be able to understand what Krishna says. I will try to explain a small diagram of the concept of time, the past, present and future. Then you will be able to understand the concept of time and the altmann. Time is like a shaft continuously moving into the past. This is future. This is past. Continuously the future is moving into the past. Continuously future is becoming past. Every moment, in every second, future is becoming past. Where the future and the past meets, that point is present. This point is present. The future is continuously moving into the past. Where the future and the past meets, this point is present. Now, your mind or your thoughts is nothing but moments between past and the future. Please understand, you can't have any thoughts if you start thinking about the past or the future. If you stop worrying about the future and thinking about the past, you will not be able to have even a single thought. Your thought is nothing but continuously moving from past to future, past to future. Your thought is nothing but moving from past to future, past to future, past to future. The more time you jump from past to future, more number of thoughts. The less you jump from past to future, less number of thoughts. The more you jump from here to here, here to here, you are having more number of thoughts. Your thoughts are nothing but your movement between past and the future. Just try to think. Think something about the present, you can't. Even if you try to think, you would have made that as a past, only then you can think. You can never think about the present. Either you will be worrying about the future or remembering the past. Nothing else can be done. Mind as such is nothing but the moments between the past and the future. The more the frequency, more your grasp. For example, if you have 100 thoughts per second, 100 TPS, thoughts per second, means 100 times you jump from past to future, future to past. And if you have 80 TPS, 80 thoughts per second, 80 times you will be jumping from past to future and future to past. The more the frequency, you will be more away from the present moment. The more the number of thoughts, you will be more away from the present moment. If the number of thoughts reduces, you will fall in the present moment. If the number of thoughts, if the frequency comes down, you will fall in the present moment. The more number of thoughts, the more you jump between the past and the future, the more you are away from the present. You will not be around the present. The more TPS or the more frequency, more you are away from the present moment. More the frequency, more your worries, more your suffering, and more your problems. When you are having high frequency, you think your body. This area is called Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya. When the frequency is little less, this area is Pranamaya. Pranamaya Kosha. If the frequency is 60, of course, I am just saying as a proportion, Then Manomaya Kosha. You come little subtle, little near to the Atman. If you fall in the present moment, you are in Atman. In this present moment, you are in Atman. See. Past, present and future, all put together is eternal. Nithya, Atman. This is what we call Nithya, Atman. All three put together. Past, present and future, all three put together is Nithya or Atman. You can fall into the Atman only by falling into the present moment. Only when you come to the present moment, you can experience the Atman. But as and now, we are continuously jumping between past and the future, past and the future. The more the frequency, more you are stuck, more you are away from the Atman. The Upanishad says there are 5 layers. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. This is Vijnanamaya. Then, when you come to 20 TPS, you go to Anandamaya. One more thing you need to understand. When the number of thoughts is less, you will not even know how time passes. A small example, when you sit with your close friend or whom you love, even if 2-3 hours passes, you will not know the time has passed. Suddenly you realize, oh, so many hours have passed. What happened? You forget everything because the number of thoughts is less. If you are sitting with somebody who is continuously boring you, with whom you don't feel comfortable, in every 5 minutes you will be seeing the watch. You will think, why? The watch is not moving. Why? The time is not moving. The time is more psychological. It is not chronological. That is why in our scriptures, in our Veda, we have a word Shanna. Shanna does not mean a second. It means the gap between one thought and the other thought. So if your TPS, if your thought per second is less, you will be naturally in ecstasy, in bliss. If the number of thoughts is less, you will not even know how much of time has passed. Because you are in bliss. If the number of thoughts is more, you will be in hell. This is hell, this is heaven. Hell and heaven are nothing but number of thoughts, that's all. The more the frequency, you are in hell, caught in the physical layer, you think you are a body. When the number of thoughts comes down, you think you are a prana sharira. If it comes down, then you think you are a mind. When it comes down, you think you are an emotion. You are just emotion. When it comes down, you realize you are bliss. And when it becomes completely zero, you enter into the Atman, you realize you are there in the past, you are here in the present, you will be there in the future. Only a man whose TPS becomes zero, he can experience what Krishna says, you will be there forever. The past, present, future, all three are only just words. You exist throughout. You exist throughout. But as and now, you are continuously jumping between past and the future. You are continuously jumping between past and the future. Your frequency is too much. You don't have that much of patience to know, to realize your source. You don't have that much of energy to understand who you are. What is your base? What is your nature? You are continuously jumping from past to the future, future to the past. If you can bring down your thought per second, if you can reduce the TPS, you will fall in the present moment. The moment you fall in the present moment, you will experience you were there in the past, you will be here in the present, you are here in the present, and you will be here forever in the future. This experience happens to you only when you fall in the present moment. Krishna says, you were there in the past, you are here in the present, you will be there in the future. You don't die. When he says, he means you are Nithya Atman, eternal consciousness. You are beyond your mind. But you know only this space of moving from past to future. That is why you are not able to believe that this space exists in you. If you can bring down the TPS, if you can reduce the number of thoughts, you will be able to experience you are this. You are not just this. As of now, you are away from the present moment, means you are away from the eternal consciousness. You are away from the present moment. You are restless, moving from past to the future. So you are not able to see the truth of this Nithya Atman or the eternal consciousness. The more the TPS, more you are away. From here, you can't see this clearly. If you come down, you will be able to see your nature more clearly. You will be able to experience your nature more deeply. Here, Krishna says, you are the eternal Atman. When he says you are the eternal Atman, you are there in the past, you were there in the past, you are here in the present, you will be there in the future. He means you are beyond time. He means as a being, you are Atman. But as of now, you are caught in the mind, between the past and the future. That is the reason as of now, you are caught between the past and the future. That is the reason it will be difficult to believe what Krishna says. But a man who has fallen to the present moment, if you can bring yourself to the present moment, you will be able to experience what Krishna says, that you are the eternal consciousness. He says beautifully, there was never a time when I, you and all of these things does not exist. If you think that our souls will also die along with our bodies, then you are wrong. We were before our birth on this earth and we will remain even after our death. This is also not true that any of us will not be in the future. Means we will be in the future. There is nothing called death to our being. There is nothing called death to our consciousness. Whatever can die can never live. Whatever lives can never die. Here, your deep consciousness says that something is living in you. That quality you attribute with your body and mind. So don't attribute, don't misunderstand your qualities of consciousness with your qualities of body and mind. You are not just the body and mind. As long as you are caught in the past and the future, you will be thinking your body and mind. The moment you come down to the present moment, you experience you are beyond body and beyond